Only one game away for Team Zealots to make it into the HGC main league, Grubby. We think they can do it, but Synergy, they are hungry. They have so much to lose here. They're going to put everything they have into holding their position and trying to perform the legendary best-of-7 reverse sweep.
It has happened in the past, and it always is off the back of either a crucial epiphany or revelation where you say, okay, now we get how they've been beating us. We take away this crucial element, we shape up this crucial element in our own play, or it's off the back of a very important psychological breakthrough, something about their mindset, something that they've been lacking so far, a spark that they suddenly are to find.
So what you're saying is, ban a Nubarak, or pick a Nubarak.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what we're saying.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Thanks.
We do love the Nubarak, and it's just been doing so well. Mopsio and Shad have both been playing it. Like right now, Nubarak and Genji appear to have been some of the game-changing heroes who have appeared in this series. And almost every time, it's been on the side of Team Zealots. We've seen one Genji taken away by Synergy, and that's it.
But this is one of the problems that we've seen in trying to break down how to defeat Team Zealot in Open Division as well. We look at the Nubarak and say, okay, we can't let him have that. But you can't let Poyok have Vala. You can't really let Grand Paquette have Malfurion either.
No,
and you can't really let Shad have Genji.
It's so crazy. Well, we'll see what map they're going on at least first. Let's see if they took the map choice. Yes, they did. So maybe they're going to be able to sneak something in that way to put themselves somewhere they're more comfortable. There's a good global map. They were actually picked globals in the first game, whereas Zealots completely ignored them.
Sky Temple, a map where you stand on beacons, which will then fire lasers at the opponent's fortifications. Not an objective push map like Dragonshire, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Brax's Holdout.
But the pushing on this map, although the objective obviously doesn't push for you, which is what you're alluding to, pushing on this map is a big deal because all structure damage you do means that your lasers have to do less work, and the quicker you kill all of your enemy structures, the quicker those lasers are going straight to the core, and they're really good at killing the core.
Yes, exactly. If you ever find yourself with a naked core before 2 lasers, then those are going to take down that core in short order.
Bad time.
And lasers on keeps is a very easy way to take down something which normally is a big risk-reward evaluation.
Being able to kill a keep from halfway across the map is always a wonderful thing. I believe there's only 2 maps that make that even possible, and that is Blackheart's Bay and Sky Temple. And Sky Temple is the only one that is in currently the professional map pool.
Yep.
So interesting choice by Zealots. We'll see, by Synergy here. We'll see what they're able to do with it. Once again, globals, super high priority on this map because it's kind of big.
Yeah, it's a big map. You often see when a team loses a fort or a keep, Falstad or Dahaka, they put on the handbrake and they say, hold that lane for a bit. I can push this lane out, I can freeze the game and slow it down and still get back into the game.
Let me kill this lane, let me deal with these minions, let me deal with this bruiser camp that the enemy team took early before I come down and join you at the objective. Global heroes allow you to stall a lot more, which is once again why we do see Nazebo and other heroes that can go into the late game quite a bit on this map, because you can delay it quite nicely if you have global and if you have a late game hero.
It's also a map with a lot of warrior emphasis. Standing on the point and saying, I'm here, try to take me off of this this hill, I'm the king, is very important.
The proverbial heroes of the storm, come at me, bro.
Yes, exactly.
As they have
Muradin, for example, is a great hold the point type of warrior. But let's see, in all actuality, how this draft is going to be unfolding. 3-0, Team Zealots Synergy. It is a best of 7. This could be the final one. If Zealots are looking to close it out.
Let's see if they're able to. There is the Anubarak ban by Zealots. They might have just preempted this kind of ban situation by Synergy, or they're just trying to show, yeah, we don't need it. We're just that confident.
Anubarak banned by them themselves. That kind of changes
Genji.
the narrative here so far.
Genji being hovered as the other ban.
Okay, so what this means is that... Oh, Gul'dan again. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So it could be a Genji...
At least they're consistent.
Could be a Genji first pick again, or that global.
Right. Genji good. So I would like double globals here. Synergy just picking up the double globals, the Dahaka and the Falstad. I'd feel very good for them about that.
I wonder if they were actually hovering Genji intentionally, or if by being alphabetically in proximity to Gul'dan, they just misclicked. Because they've been banning Gul'dan 3 times in a row.
Yeah, we're just like, okay, they
like, go Genji. Oh, no.
They're just adjusting. We think they're adjusting their map style. It's just like, okay, so we're banning Gul'dan. Oh no, not Genji. God, why would they pick Genji?
Yeah. And we're like making so much of it. I'm gonna like write an article about this. They're like, no, it's like misclick. Like, ooh, right.
And Ariel. So we have seen Synergy a couple times run Vikings on these larger battlegrounds. It could be a secret weapon for them. Hydra is kind of the game-changing player for Synergy here.
But I don't get it. Then why do you ban Gul'dan? Like, Gul'dan is not a Viking hunter.
I mean, he'll stack up easily in team fights.
It doesn't matter. As soon as you take Vikings, everything in the draft becomes about them. They are that polarizing of 3 heroes. I can't say a hero. Genji is a Viking hunter. He can surprise them. He can react. He can do damage before they can react, and even if they do and try to get away, he will kill them. That's a very important tool to have. He is one of the, I would say, 4 Viking hunters that are excelling in that scenario.
Okay. And what do you think of Ariel as a Viking healer?
You don't heal Vikings. You don't need to. She's part of the 4-man that roams around and does other things that the Vikings do not do, which is doing anything except soaking XP. So Ariel, in that sense, it's just fine. She's not necessarily priority. I just don't get why they would not ban Genji instead of Gul'dan.
Yeah, well, now we have the first appearance of the Lich King Arthas coming in. I like it. Good AoE for the Vikings for when they actually ever do join the team fight. And of course, he is one of those come at me bro tanks who just stands on the objective forever and holds everything. The Zerotul ban, this is something we haven't seen yet.
Another reason why Arthas is great is because when you have the Vikings, you often go around with this 4-man team to get camps, to get ganks, to push lanes, or to do team fights that are in your favor in terms of odds, because there's other members reacting to Viking pushes.
Yeah.
Arthas is indeed a come-at-me hero. He needs people to engage into him, to have a reason to engage into him. In that sense, Arthas is nice. He can resist the heavy onslaught of those 4 heroes. And he's also a pretty good Viking killer.
Yes, he is. He does pretty good chunk damage with that Frostmourne Hunger's D ability that he has. It is quite lovely.
And the slow.
The slow.
You sneak up on a Viking from a bush, you turn on that slow, and until
the second they step out of it, you root them.
And then it's enough damage to take him down. So really like Zealot's team so far against this.
Well, let's see what Zealots have to ban out. What else works with the Vikings? Like you said, you need a 4-man rotation hero. Falstad, global and good in rotations. Perfect choice for this.
Yeah, Falstad's not an ideal buddy to a Viking team, but he is a good counter to Vikings. So again, I'm fairly surprised by Zealots' ban here.
He works in the rotation. He has disengage for the Arthas stuff like that.
That's true.
He's just a solid ban, but like you said, he's not a dedicated Vikings person. So it just works, but it's not super obvious.
And usually you go for a kind of hyper carry damage dealer, as in a kind of glass cannon, because with Vikings you come, you conquer, you see, and you conquer, right?
Yeah.
Like you go somewhere, you have a quick fight, or you just don't take it at all since time is on your side. Falstad, not as bursty as others. I'm expecting more heroes like Zerotul to be on the side of Synergy.
Yeah,
of course they can't.
Yeah. Tyrael, always nice. Double Angel, always nice as well. Who else are we getting for that rotation? Zarya. Okay, so we're going for a similar style to last time. Lots of good supporting tanks that can keep people alive, but who is the damage dealer to go behind this? I would assume Valor or someone like that, right?
Yeah, well, it's difficult to predict here, because Synergy is doing the exact opposite of having like a 4-man burst team that has plenty of crowd control, stunts, root slows, and damage.
They are doing a sustain team.
Yeah, so what they're doing is having their 4-man possibly be able to resist the entire 5-man of Zealots. What they're looking to do is to say, we're going to push hard with this 4-man while Vikings cover the other lanes. It's definitely a different approach than what I was talking about, which is a very heavy rotational style, which is usually what we see with Vikings. So it's different.
It is very different.
I can't predict the damage dealer now. presumably going to be something like Lunara, Sylvanas,
It's
or
going to be someone
Vala.
in range. Greymane I would normally say, but he's just going to get Arthas pretty hard if he actually is what they end up picking
He's going
up.
to get Arthas.
He's going to get Arthas. Arthas is a verb now.
Yep.
That's exactly what he is. That's an Illidan and a Tracer on the same team.
Oh my god.
That's Illidan, Tracer, and Genji.
Oh my god.
I heard you liked your Vikings, so we decided to ruin your day, Hydra.
Those two, Genji and Tracer, are the primary Viking hunters in the game, period. And Illidan doesn't necessarily kill them, but he completely doesn't care about their damage or their soak as he pushes a lane by himself. Synergy has got to say B. They said A, now they need to finish it and say B.
The wait is
Okay, I quite like that. Like, it's all auto-attack damage except for Genji, so...
Yeah, she's a good hero to go up against the heroes of Zealots. I'm just wondering about the overall game plan.
The overall game plan is interesting. Like, right now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that Longboat wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, just to add the extra damage, considering the amount of hate that Tracer's going to be doing on you, especially seeing as it auto-chases in terms of auto-attacks.
Yeah, it could be the Longboat. I think it's probably a good case for play again as well.
Just for the rotations.
Yeah, for the map control.
It's the huge map. You want to be able to rotate and join your team whenever you need to, which is why it's so popular and has been for what is coming up to a year and a half now in terms of Viking-based picks.
Yeah.
We've seen like one Longboat, maybe two Longboat in professional play. Expert played it on Towers of Doom, but that's once again a much smaller map where the Vikings can rotate easier.
Wow, it's definitely a very different formula. I know that they're good Vikings team.
Yeah.
They have a lot of experience with it, but it's not what I would expect. Loving Zealots' draft here, I think it's going to be tough for Synergy, but if they do it, it's going to be worth all the more credit, in my opinion.
If this is how they start up the reverse sweep, then that's going to potentially bait in a lot of Vikings bans. And that could actually be a really big deal for Synergy actually getting some of the heroes that they want if they're able to continue to get the larger maps. Warhead and Cursed are banned out, though, so that's two of the large ones already gone.
Yeah, but I agree with you. It's the kind of comeback that they would need by offering up a new secret weapon that now would have to be considered. Very, very good point.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to see as we head into game number 4 of this best-of-7 series. And it's going to be on Sky Temple. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce the team on the left-hand side. They need to perform the ultimate best-of-7 reverse sweep. Sevka on the Ariel, Power of Dream on the Tyrael. It is going to be Neon on Zarya. We have Sir Ice Cream on the Cassia. Could be a game-changing hero here. And it's Hydra on the Lost Vikings. And they are Team Synergy.
And here on the right side, in the red, from Open Division, the #1 most points winning team. And here they are in the Crucible. 3-0 up. It's going to be Mapsio, Zarmany, Shad, Grandpaket, and Poyok on a hyper-aggressive composition with 3 assassins. I almost think of all 3 of them as melee assassins, even though 2 of them have range, because they stick on you like nothing else. Illidan, Tracer, Genji. Crazy, crazy team here.
So we're starting off with a bit of aggression onto this top tower. Just getting it down to half. They could finish it off if they committed. And we are actually seeing no rotation because we know everyone's in the bot lane doing the exact same thing and faster.
Yeah, and this is the expected playstyle by Synergy. Rather than rotating around and finding opportunities, like you would expect with a team like ETC to run the Thrall, something like that, which used to be very meta alongside Vikings. They are, let's push for the core kind of team, with plenty of shields, plenty of sustain, and they've got down a fort already. Nice result here for Synergy. Yeah,
Illidan not the best defender against 4 heroes on his own, even though they don't actually have a huge amount of lockdown, but he will still lose that fight anytime, as most heroes will.
Let's go for the keep
they're
ball.
Still going. They can still see that pretty much everyone's in top. Like, Genji's on his way down to at least start, so Ice Cream is like, yeah, we shouldn't. We should get out of here.
Yeah, they see the rotation, and, you know, it was an option. It was a threat, but they saw everyone leaving the lane. They're up almost a full level. So well done by Synergy. I'm so glad that the early game is going so well for them, as I have a desire here, a selfish desire, Tetcher, to see more games coming out of these 2 teams.
Yeah, we have this one. We would like to see this go all the way to the best 7, see how these teams cope under that kind of pressure. But right now, Synergy, they are utilizing those Vikings. They do have an XP lead. The question is, how much can they keep that and how much can they get out of it? Continuing with the 4-man here with a big old group up on that middle temple.
All right, so far so good by Synergy. They had a great start on Brax's holdout in game number 3 as well, and they're looking to be off to a flying start here. Illidan, he is very much a level 10 hero. He's good at pushing early on, but he lacks the true amount of escape and damage that he gets at level 10. And so far, he's just going to be taking that top beacon there, that top shrine now. Lasers have taken down the fountain. Bot fort is already down. Eric goes down, but you know, it's just a Viking.
Yeah, that happens a bit. That happens quite a lot. He is very squishy, even with Eric the Swift, which I believe he went for at level 4. Is that Eric the Swift?
Yes. No, it's a Sabotage, I believe.
No, it's not Sabotage. Sabotage is purple.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you're right. Eric the Swift, 10% bonus movement speed, and as long as he keeps moving, he gets healing. He can be very annoying going around cancelling people's mounts. But whatever lead Synergy grabbed early on in terms of experience has been lost, as Illidan is finishing off the top fort, has already done so. A number of takedowns. Tyrael got caught. A few unforced errors here, and now Zealots suddenly in the lead once again.
Yes, they are, and it only takes a couple. Like, yes, the Vikings can soak all 3, but if they keep dying, then they give just as much XP over. And that is exactly what is happening. So, Arthas is currently holding 2 talents. What is your thoughts?
That's so interesting. That's what I'm thinking.
That is your literal thought of the end there?
Yeah, my gears are starting to grind here, and I'm thinking it can't be.
Okay, he's gone for 1.
Okay, that's the usual one. So he's missed out some quest some quest talents.
He's getting a lot now, though. There's the blind, though. Cassia with crazy damage, forcing Tracer all the way back here. And Illidan having to pull back as well. And immediately, the pressure's onto Zealots. That Cassia damage immediately turning this around.
All right, this is a very important moment for Synergy. They've had the 4-man push before. Now they're having another one. They must make this work, or the game will spiral out of control.
Damage output's good.
Now the entire team, just while we figure out what's going on here, and I apologize for the delay, while we work out what's going on here, we have a team here comprised of Zarya, Ariel, and Tyrael, and Cassia.
Yeah.
None of them are any good whatsoever by themselves. So that means that the usual flexibility that we see in teams, where we say, oh, let me take care of that. I'll go to the top lane.
I'll move to bot lane to clear out those minions.
Can't be. Any of them would be liable to get caught by Genji, by Tracer, by Illidan, so they must stay together. And they have a team that could potentially stand as 4 against the other 4, maybe against 5. They have that much sustain together. That means that they need to win this fight that's going on right here.
Yes, we're going to head right back into game, guys, and continue from where we left off with the top lane getting kind of messed up. There is the kill onto Illidan straight away. Grand Paqueta getting chased down, but he is able to escape. And another fort shall die here. And this is, like you said, moving as this 4-man group, Synergy can get a lot of work done.
And they did what they had to do. Synergy needed to win this engagement, and they passed in flying colors. With that pink bar there charging up, they're now starting to work on a keep wall. It's nearly unheard of. It's 4 minutes and 40 seconds, and they've just pushed down 2 forts already and starting to work on keep walls. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty aggressive but good job here. But like we said before, Zealots, they're good at fighting from behind. But this is the kind of thing Synergy has to do to try and bring themselves back in. Shad just drawing some fire and then pulling back to his team. Mopsio, he is in position to try and grab someone here, but he wasn't able to do so. Zarmany, though, sneaking down the bot lane. He's going to be able to grab a couple shots and put some pressure onto a fort. Big root there and the bomb, but Cassia tanking through it.
This is looking very good for Synergy. I couldn't be happier that I was wrong in predicting the power here of the draft of Team Synergy. They're just really showing a proficiency here. Yeah, they can't die. You know, Cassia, she's got that 65% armor against auto attacks, which is much of what Tracer and Illidan actually do. Yeah. They've got their level 10 and they're moving in here. Crystal Aegis, Ball Lightning, Sanctification, Expulsion Zone.
Like, the Vikings are dying. That is a consistent thing that is happening, but the pushing power coming out of Synergy is making up for it. They're using the incredible Viking hatred comp featuring Illidan, the ultimate hater, They're utilizing this by putting aggression on, which can't really be dealt with.
Very nicely done there.
Oh, there's the ball. No, Poik dashing straight out of range. Didn't want anything. Nice route. Can they do anything with it? They still don't have 10, but they're trying to put some damage on. But no 10. Weren't able to drop enough damage. The huge shielding from Tyrael and Zarya and the healing from Ariel made it impossible for them to blow anyone up. But they finally have heroics.
All right. 1.5 fort lead for Synergy. And 1.5 level lead almost for Synergy. But heroic equality has been attained. Zealots pick up Dragonblade, Twilight Dream, Quantum Spike, and presumably Army of the Dead and Metamorphosis are going to follow suit.
Assumedly, like, Hunt onto Cassia could be a big deal, but they have Aegis, they have shields.
Yes. Oh, with the Hunt, you take away the armor on Cassia, you lock her down. Genji.
Yeah, oh. Good jump. Nicely done, Shad.
The Hunt. All right, bit more map control.
Arthur's holding just makes me nervous. Like, Syndragosa, like, will that help, really? Like, I guess it means that if they do get kills, they can absolutely go further with a push, but they would have used it in the fight, surely.
Well, they were level 9.9. They never had a chance to use it yet.
We'll see. He is holding it. Mobzio has been holding a lot of his hands. It's Army of the Dead. There we go. So he is just going for the sustain. Trying to make sure that they can also make their way through these fights because they have to get through Sank, they have to get through shields.
Are they doing boss?
They're trying it. They're migrating around. They have started it. They have the damage, absolutely.
Right.
But do they have the time? Looks like
so.
they do. Like the Viking will scout it, but it might be too late by then. Like we see Tyrael coming in, no holy ground. He could get in and Sank. Can they fight for it? Tyrael moving in, ball lightning, getting some great damage on Grand Paqueta. There's the Sank. They're pulling back, and down goes
Synergy.
Mopsio getting focused down the Dragonblade. Drops some good damage, but he can't make it through the shields. Synergy pushing through. Poik trying to micro back. Somebody's clearing minions, but they're trying to turn on to power as Poik is getting chased. He gets smitten by Power of Dream. Isolated by Sir Ice Cream. Can they get Zarmany damage? Yes, they can! Full five-man team wipe by Synergy, and they're going for a keep.
Boss, double tempo, Bruiser can push, decimating Zealots in the team fight, going for the keep. Synergy is looking better than ever. This draft is working out beyond my expectations, but presumably exactly as they expected. Very nicely done here. This
is what they need. They push through. The boss still has half health, but they don't want any more. They don't want to overextend. They have Vikings on both temples. Hunt onto Ariel. Aegis is available. Twilight Dream was good. Can they keep sustain? The root is dropped. Zevka is sustaining. The ball lightning chases down Illidan. Shad escapes, but they do get Tyrael, making it a 1-for-1. But Sir Ice Cream, he's not done. He wants Mopsio. Boss has taken down the shield. Would they want to attempt to end here? The boss does drop. They get 4% off the core, but it looks like that is going to be it.
Yeah, they could have done another 20% or so, but it's not worth it at the cost of losing your very significant lead here. Keeps are down to half life each. Team Zealots have a great Viking hunting team. Genji, Illidan, and Tracer. But the floodgates are open. It's like mopping the floor without turning the tap off. Vikings are going to keep coming back. We've got play again, and so much pressure from this four-man team here, which Zealots are not as well equipped to deal with. After all, very nice execution here by Synergy.
Shad leaping between bushes at this point, looking for opportunities to try and pick up some more Viking kills to give his team a bit more of that lovely, lovely comeback XP. Always nice to see. But right now, it is 16 has just been hit for Synergy, 13, and they're only halfway through it, are Zealots.
All right, yeah. I mean, they're going to make a stand no matter what. You see a lot of teams avoid team fights when they're down a talent. But Zealots, they know they're not going to get a whole lot of time. Their keeps are actually down to 20 and 10% respectively.
So weak. Those temple shots, that's what it takes. And this is once again the joy of Vikings. Meantime, Illidan is doing Illidan things. He is pushing top lane to death. Down goes Eric.
They got Eric, but they lose a keep. I think that's an okay trade for Synergy.
Illidan's finally coming back, grabbing a watchtower on the way. He's within hunt range now. And there it is. But the cleanse.
What?
Cleansing shield from Zarya. Yes. There's the ball lightning. We already see Illidan drop. There goes Arthas. Genji's here to try and help. The Dragonblade did so much damage, but Sank is dropped. And they're gonna get Grand Paqueta as well, thanks to this slow from Olaf. They're going for core. There's already Siege Giants. And that looks like it may be it. It's Poik and Shad want to try and get something, but it's not going to be enough. That is GG. And Synergy are beginning the comeback.
Yeah, very nicely done. Synergy take that 4th map. They get the 1-3 score, and that they show here they are not down and out yet.
They are living up to their name. We slightly doubted that composition, but they showed it.
More than slightly, I'm not embarrassed to admit.
That was a dominant pushing potential that they showed there. And even though, like we said, there's no way you can keep the Vikings alive, but they did crisis management really well. They were still able to cover lanes, and the amount of pushing they got was perfect. And of course, that really good fight on boss, they were able to make out of that.
Yeah, that was a very good poignant timing there. Jumping in with Balog, with Tyrael, with that Eldruin's Might, jumping on the point, the expulsion zone. And you know what the thing is? It isn't 100% the story of the draft here. On Brax's holdout, we had a very similar draft for Team Synergy, but they failed in the execution. They let people die. They went to split up the composition, sending Vala Ariel to the Bruiser camp, letting 2 people continue to contest the objective. It was a kind of anti-synergy here, if you will, in the way that they played it out. But now they stuck together as 4, and they dominated. They went around as an unstoppable force.
Speaking of 4, guys, that was game number 4. We're going to head to a quick break, and when we come back, game number 5. So weak. Those temple shots, that's what it takes. And this is once again the joy of Vikings. Meantime, Illidan is doing Illidan things. He is pushing top lane to death. Down goes Eric.
They got Eric, but they lose a keep. I think that's an okay trade for Synergy.
Illidan's finally coming back, grabbing a watchtower on the way. He's within hunt range now. And there it is. But the whoa!
What?
Fencing shield from Zarya.
Yes.
There's the ball lightning. So we already see Illidan drop. There goes Arthas. Genji's here to try and help. The Dragon Blade did so much damage, but Sank is dropped. And they're going to get Grand Bakena as well, thanks to this slow from Olaf. They're going for Core. There's already Siege Giants. And that looks like it may be it. It's Poik and Shad want to try and get something, but it's not going to be enough. That is GG. And Synergy are beginning the comeback.
The Isle of Skobos is the home to the reclusive Ascari and their Amazon warriors. Long ago, their oracles predicted the dark exile of the primevals and foresaw an Amazon would someday rise to fight them. Alongside a group of valiant heroes, Cassia defeated Diablo and his brothers and returned home after the World Stone's destruction. Now the war matron and commander of the Amazon army, Cassia brings a lifetime of martial knowledge to the Nexus. Cassia is a highly aggressive ranged assassin whose defenses mitigate even the strongest physical attacks. Cassia's trait is avoidance. While on foot, Cassia automatically gains a large amount of physical armor as long as she's moving, significantly reducing the damage of physical attacks used against her. Her Q ability, Lightning Fury, hurls a javelin that deals damage to the first enemy it hits and splits into 2 lightning bolts that pierce through enemies in their path. Cassia's next ability, Blinding Light, calls down a flash of light from the heavens that blinds enemies in a target area. As a passive effect, Cassia's attacks and abilities deal bonus damage to all blinded targets. Next up is Fend. Cassia rushes towards a target and unleashes a flurry of stabs with her javelin, dealing damage to anything in a small cone around her target. This ability deals bonus damage to heroes. Her first heroic ability is Ball Lightning. Upon activation, Cassia summons a sphere of energy that bounces between enemies, dealing damage to each one it hits. Only the greatest Amazons can call down a Valkyrie. When summoned, the Valkyrie rushes towards Cassia, impaling and stunning the first enemy hero it contacts and drags them closer to Cassia's javelins. Since Cassia's trait Avoidance grants her physical armor while moving, she can be incredibly powerful against certain heroes like Vala, Raynor, or Illidan. With precise use of her Blinding Light ability, she can force enemies to miss their attacks, giving her an even stronger advantage. If you're facing an enemy Cassia, Roots and Stuns are a particularly effective way to shut down her trait. Blinding Light's passive effect allows Cassia to deal bonus damage to blinded targets, and boosts both her auto attacks